This is the Vaer G5 Meridian 39mm GMT, and I have to say, it's an exceptional watch. And it's one that has some obvious design cues inspired by a few different classics from the 1950s through the 70s. Sure, that's true. Watches including the Mill Sub and the GMT Master. But it won't cost an arm and a leg like those vintage watches, and this won't be so old that you'd be afraid to wear it within 100 feet of a body of water for fear of the water resistance failing and for ruining an heirloom timepiece. Now, I'm not sure if this will matter to a whole lot of people, but for some people this might also be a cool feature. This watch is assembled in the USA. Now, does that mean that every part is made in the USA? No, I don't think so. I mean, the movement is a Miyota, but that it's assembled, tested, and quality controlled in America is something that I think some of you guys might actually appreciate. Now, is this the best GMT watch under $1,000 on the market? I have to say I haven't seen them all, but I have seen a few, and this one is right up there for sure. Like I said, I do think that this is exceptional. What's up, everybody? I'm Guy, and you're watching Just Bluefish Watch Reviews. Now, I have to say thank you for clicking on that video and for watching, but if you could do me one more solid, why don't you go ahead and click on that subscribe button too? I know this is hard to believe, but across all of my videos, I had over 100,000 views in the last 28 days, and only 9% of the viewers are subscribed, or I guess I could say 89% of you aren't subscribed. So please, do subscribe. It's free, and it does mean a lot to me. Now, Vaer was kind enough to send over this G5 Meridian GMT for the review, so of course a big thanks to them for the watch. But to be clear to all of you guys, while they did sponsor the video, as always, all the thoughts and the opinions presented herein are my own, and Vaer has no editorial control over the messaging of this content, as is always the case. So as far as the features and the specifications of this watch, let's go ahead and jump into it. The retail price on the Vaer website says $899 on this piece. That does include 2 strap options though, although the metal bracelets have an extra fee associated with them. Now that said, I will dive into the bracelet deeper in a bit, but I do want to say that getting the bracelet for a few bucks extra, I think it is worth it. Overall, it's a great bracelet. Now the watch case is 316L stainless steel, and it offers 200 meters of water resistance. The case dimensions come in at 39 millimeters in diameter with a 48 millimeter lug-to-lug length. The case is 20 millimeters between the lugs, and the thickness is about 14 millimeters roughly. The domed sapphire crystal does have anti-reflective coating, which is great for a watch at this price range. The watch is also riding on a quick-release FKM Tropic strap, and like I said, I also got the extra 3-link bracelet option as well. The stainless steel bracelet, like I said, it is really great. It also has a quick-release spring bar system, so swapping between the strap and this is a breeze, and the clasp on this has plenty of micro adjustment points, so getting a good size should be simple as well. Now the GMT bezel, like the watch face, is loomed, and it's a ceramic bezel. It's very nicely finished, and it feels great as well. However, I do have one small complaint with the bezel. It is a 120-click bidirectional bezel, and if I could have had a 24-click standard GMT-style bezel, I would have preferred that. Yes, the GMT insert on the bezel is graduated correctly for keeping track of multiple time zones, but I would have preferred it if it had a 24-click instead of 120-click mechanism. Now that is a super minor complaint as far as complaints go, but I guess I just wanted to throw that out there. The watch face and the hands are finished really nicely also. All of the markers and the hands have high polished stainless steel surrounds, and the date window at 6 o'clock is also framed with a stainless steel border. The GMT hand is a bold and well-painted shade of red, and everything is loomed up and glows in the dark really, really well, thanks to a astounding generous 20x layered grade A BGW9 Superluminova. So yeah, I have to say that kicks ass. Now, the movement, which is visible through the display case back window, it's a Miyota 9075. It's a 4 Hz movement beating at 28,800 vibrations per hour. It has a 42-hour power reserve. and it's supplied with an advertised timing tolerance of -5 to +15 seconds per day, which I have to say is pretty decent, albeit maybe not quite as tight as I would have liked. Now, to be fair, my example is plenty accurate, but if I did happen to get one that ran fast, as much as 15 seconds per day, I would probably be a little bit disappointed. I like my watches to be more accurate than that. What I would like is a timing tolerance of something in the window of no more than 10 seconds per day, personally. But this isn't bad. Now, in looking at the fit and finish of the movement in the display window, okay, it's not a highly decorated and finished movement with chamfers and bevels and Geneva stripes and all the rest of it, but this isn't an Omega and it's not $6,000. It does look quite good for a watch at this price point though, and I'm actually happy that this uses a Miyota instead of the ubiquitous Seiko NH movements that you typically find in more affordable micro-brand watches. So I have to say that's a big upside in my book. Now on the wrist, this guy is fantastic. I love the size, I love the scale, and the fit of this watch on my 6.5-inch wrist. I think watches in the 38 to 40 millimeter range are generally excellent, and they are excellent for the vast majority of people, and I have to say this one is no exception. Now the case shape, I find it to be a little bit interesting, especially the lug profile. I think it's a bit reminiscent of the Omega Lyre lug profile, and I have to say that I like it. The polishing and the overall quality of the finish on the case is quite nice, and it leaves nothing to be desired. The two-tone bezel is, again, well done. As mentioned, I do wish it wasn't a 120-click mechanism, but I will say that the beveled, or I should say the bezel edges, and the texturing on the bezel edges is very, very good, and the action is great as well. Now, I think if you're looking for a GMT in the $500 to $1,000 range, there are a lot more options here today than there were even 3 or 4 years ago. And while you might be able to find some watches that are a little bit less expensive than this one, I don't know if you're going to find much at this price or even above it that is overall as good of quality as that you get with this one. Now, I do highly recommend it if you're looking for something like this, even accounting for the couple of small complaints that I did have with it. I mean, nothing's perfect, but this is real damn close. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in and thanks for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Thanks to Vaer as well for sending this watch over for the review. I'm going to be wrapping this one up for today. I hope you enjoyed it. So let me say one more time, thanks again, and until the next one, bye now.